Hey there, my friend. Imagine looking back on your life when you're 80 years old. Are you gonna wish that you went out more, partied, spent more time away from chasing your goals, away from doing the hard thinking and planning your life out? Or are you gonna wish that you had made some sacrifices and actually worked on things that were meaningful to you and set some specific goals and journaled about getting clarity about what you wanna do with your life earlier on? This is the single biggest mindset shift that jolted me into action just a few years ago. I'm 25 now, and I honestly wasted like the first few years of my 20s and early teens coming into my 20s. And this mindset shift of looking into the future and contemplating, will I regret my current actions, helped me really just understand the brevity of life, how short it is, and really helped me start wanting to figure out what's actually meaningful to me, and realizing I don't have time to waste and that I need to kick it into gear and start setting up myself to have a good life. And after realizing this and trying out a ton of different things to generate wealth, I failed a ton of different ways to make money, my own businesses, and I was lost for such a long time until I learned this mindset shift, which basically is that in order to make new progress, you need to make new sacrifices. You can't expect anything to change if you don't change anything in your routine. I used to think that, okay, well, I want to make more money, so how do I do that? But I kept doing the same things. I kept going out with friends the whole weekend, not spending any time to myself, working all week in a job that honestly wasn't really providing me enough value that I was worth. And I just expected things to change, and they didn't. I needed new habits. I needed a new routine. I needed to make sacrifices. I needed new habits. I needed new time to focus on my goals. The time when I made the biggest progress in my life was when I landed a top industry sales role in a global tech company with super high competition, but also high income potential. And I remember the day I landed it. It was a few months after I had just come back from Finland on a trip with friends, and we all were planning out the year for 2024. And one of my biggest goals was to land this remote job at this company so that I could have more income and more freedom, and I would do anything to get it. So I put this mindset shift into action. I knew I needed to do it now because I didn't want to waste time in my life. I knew I had to make new sacrifices and new habits around this. So what I did to implement this was I didn't go out on the weekends for like 3 months. And I woke up, and every morning the first thing I did was practice my interviews. I practiced applying, I practiced sharpening up my resume and doing everything I could to make sure that I would stand a chance and perform at my best when applying for this job and landing this job. And because of that, it resulted directly in me landing this job and standing out among all the competition that there was for it. And I was very proud of myself, but it was because of this soul shift of going ghost, like the title is here, of cutting out making sacrifices and cutting out wasting time and spending my time more wisely and implementing habits toward accomplishing this very clear goal. And for you, if you're someone who is trying to really make improvements and change their life, you need to make sacrifices. It's just what I've learned and experienced. You need to find new time and implement new habits to make an impact different than what you're experiencing. It's just like I said before, I've always tried to change and tried to do things differently, and I wanted to improve, and I wanted to, but I never changed my routine or changed my habits or made sacrifices different than big enough than what I needed to actually see massive change. So if you're young and ambitious and already kind of sick of your routine and sick of doing the same things, and you have this greater calling out, and your conscience is telling you that you need to improve your life, you need to start doing things differently, you need to start saying no to going out all the time, and you need to focus in and dial in on what you want to do, then it's honestly just a matter of having a backbone and saying no to friends, which is hard. One of the hardest things in my life that I've experienced is saying no to friends, is changing and holding back and doing things differently in my life than what the people around me were used to, and having to feel fear of missing out and go through that and change the mindset around saying no. And I know, like, it's one of the hardest things that I've done in my 20s, but you have to realize you can't think of it as, you might think that other people think you're a loner for staying in on the weekends or something like that, which I used to, but you have to reframe it and realize, no, I just have different levels of desire for something in life. I have different values and levels of importance of what's a priority for me than other people. And you can't let yourself be wrapped up in how others might be thinking of you by you not going out and doing the things that you know you should be doing, because it's your life and it's short. And if you don't kick it into gear soon, you're gonna look back and regret time wasted. And that's just one of the biggest shifts that I've had that have helped me kick it into gear and lock in, like everyone says, and really just make progress. And honestly, life is good now. I work remote, I'm traveling, I'm currently in a hotel like in Miami, working during the week and just having a good time with friends, colleagues, and working on what I'm really passionate about on the side. Location freedom is a beautiful thing, and having good income and solving your money problem, like being able to pay bills, travel, and buy things you want, is such a good thing to have. And something like this, locking in, making new sacrifices, is one of the best ways that I know to get something like this to change. And yeah, that's all for this video today, though. There's people walking around the hotel. But I hope this inspired you. Just wanted to share a little bit about my experience in actually making progress. And yeah, see you soon. Shout out.